So let's continue. So another form of renewable source of energy is biomass, sometimes also called biofuels. Okay? So biomass refers to energy extracted from the material of living things. Okay? Wood, charcoal, and ethanol are all examples of this. So methane gas, which is a biogas, is generated from the rotting plants and animal material which is used for heating. Alright, we've already talked a bit about methane when we talked about its contribution to greenhouse gases. So methane comes from decomposing plants and decomposing anything that is living. If it is decomposing, it will release methane gas. Okay, if we were to be able to trap that gas, we could use it again for whatever we would need. Okay, in this case, we were talking about heating. Okay, because we can burn the methane gas to heat our homes or to cook food or whatever. Okay. Incidentally, once again, in Malta and the landfill that there is in Matap, there was a project to try and capture a bit of this methane gas, because whenever you have garbage, you will have methane gas being released. So rather than letting it go to waste, you can collect it and try and make the most of it. Okay, so again, this can be considered to be renewable, because there will always be things that are decomposing, things that are rotting. Okay, if we take ourselves, we will always cook using vegetables, and the parts of the vegetables that we do not use, when we throw them away, they will eventually go to be deposited somewhere where they will rot. So they will release methane gas. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why nowadays we try to split our garbage at homes into organic and non-organic. Okay, for this reason, because all organic material can be used to capture a bit of methane gas that can later on be used again for something else. In Brazil, alcohol from sugarcane is used in cars instead of petrol. So, sugarcane is a type of plant that we get obviously sugar from, and there is a process that you can apply to this sugarcane, so that you can extract a type of alcohol that you can use. Now, the type of alcohol that we are talking about is not an alcohol that people can drink. Okay, it would be an alcohol that is specific that can be used as a fuel. All right. The alcohol we're talking about is in fact ethanol, which is what is referred to up here. All right, and it can be used in certain cars. You cannot use them in any car. Okay, you would have to modify the car a bit by changing certain parts so that it can burn the ethanol, but it can be used. Sometimes it is also combined with normal petrol to make the petrol burn a bit cleaner and be a bit better for the environment, and also be a bit more powerful. So you can actually get a bit more power for your car if you can convert it to run ethanol or adapt it to run on ethanol. In Malta, cooking oil is collected and used to generate biodiesel. All right. So cooking oil from restaurants, mostly restaurants, they will have enough cooking oil for this to work. You can turn it into a type of diesel. Nowadays, normal diesel, when you go to a petrol station and you want to give your car fuel, if it is a diesel car, the diesel you will get will automatically have biodiesel mixed in with it. The reason for this is so that we reduce the amount of crude oil that we need, that I mentioned before, to generate the diesel that we require. Final point, the engineered landfill at Matap produces amounts of methane gas, which is being used to produce electricity for some houses in Nashar. In this way, the waste is being reduced, reused, and recycled, what I already referred to. Page 55. Other forms of energy are hydroelectric energy. Now, once again, with hydroelectric energy, we've already discussed a bit of this when we talked about pressure, because basically the way hydroelectric power stations work is that a river will fill a lake behind a dam. The fast-moving water flowing down from the lake turns the generators, which then turns energy. So if you remember, we had said that the further down we go in water, the larger the pressure. The walls at the bottom of a dam, we said they have to be thicker than the parts at the top. Okay, so this links a bit to what we said when we discussed pressure. At some point in this dam, there will be a bit of an opening, generally further down. Why will it be further down? So that the water over there will create a lot more pressure. Now, if it has a lot more pressure, then when there is a small opening, it will rush out much, much faster. Okay? So as it rushes out with a lot of force and a lot of speed, it's going to turn the turbine over here, which is connected to the generator, which then generates electricity. Okay? The water will then go out in the normal lake or river, whatever, but there electricity is being generated from something natural. There is no fuel being burnt, it is just the normal movement of the water, and it is not leaving any harmful gases or harmful waste or anything really. I refer to the natural movement of water. So generally the water would be coming from rivers that would originally be coming from mountains that would have snow on them in winter, and then when the peak of winter starts to reduce, the snow and the ice would start melting and you'd get a constant stream of water. Once again, this is not a form of energy that we could actually have in Malta. Even somewhere like Chadwick Lakes, we don't have enough water flow to get energy. We do have a bit of dams, but there wouldn't be enough water over enough time to give us a decent amount of hydroelectric energy. Now, finally, the last type of renewable sources of energy is going to be geothermal energy. So, deep underground rocks may be at a much higher temperature due to radioactive materials slowly decomposing. Steam may be formed from deep underground streams, or else water is pumped down and it rises as steam. So in this case, there are holes that would be dug into the ground, okay? And sometimes there would either be natural sources of steam coming up, in which case if you already have steam, you would try to place a turbine in a place where it would escape from. So as the steam escapes, it would turn the turbine and give you electricity. Or else, when there is a source of hot rocks, like we have mentioned in the notes, okay, we would actually pump or push water into those sources. So as the water falls into the holes and gets heated by the rocks, it then turns into steam, it comes back up, we place a turbine where the steam would escape from, it would turn the turbine and we would get our energy. As far as I know, we do not, and we have never tried to obtain geothermal energy in Malta. For this to happen, I would imagine that there would have to be a volcano, an active volcano close by, all right? Or else you would have to dig really, really, really deep to get in contact with some radioactive materials. And as far as I know, we have neither radioactive materials in our rock, nor is there a volcano close by that we could say we are close enough so that if we dig, we will find hotter rocks to get geothermal energy from.